So today we're here to go over, as you can see, the MyQ mobile credentials and smart reader solutions that they're now offering us as of, when was it, Sherry? The 28th?
March 28th.
March 28th. You know, once again, and I feel like a broken record whenever I say this, it's like we just continue to make that dollar you spend on that app more powerful, right? The one place in the world we're doing it. So we've layered on another feature here in relation to the actual app, but there's some hardware elements to it also, firmware. And speaking from my personal experience when it comes to mobile solutions, you guys have really gone out of your way to, you know, make access simple, right? It's a one portal solution. We're not bouncing around from different portal to different portal to implement it. Rollout is super smooth. We were able to do it and test it on our end. So I'm going to hand it over here to Sherry Johnson, Senior Product Manager with LiftMaster. I believe she headed up this project. So we got the right person in the building.
I actually did. Well, I had a lot of help heading up the project, but yes, I'm excited to guide you guys through our new MyQ mobile credential solution. So let's get started. So we got a packed agenda for this presentation. We're going to talk about why we're doing this, the problem that we're solving. We're going to talk about mobile credentials, what it is and how it works with our LiftMaster total solution. Now we're really going to open it up to start with on the experience that our residents and communities are really going to see with the MyQ mobile credentials. And then we'll go into what you guys need to know about the hardware, which we call the enablers to make it all work. And then just a quick overview on how we all can succeed together. Okay. So first of all, you know, what really is the problem we're solving? Why are we doing this? So when we did our research, you know, we talked to a lot of residents, a lot of property managers, and it was really around these key pain points. And the biggest one of them was the multiple credentials. So, you know, you might have a transmitter to get in the gate, a keypad code to get into this door, like a package room, a fob to get into the pool. I mean, just credentials all over the place. It's hard to know what to use when and where. And if it was confusing for the residents, it was really confusing for the property managers too, because they had to manage all of that. And a lot of times it wasn't all in one system. They would have to log into multiple systems, add credentials, and they really didn't have good visibility of what was going on in their building from one point. So we decided that we really wanted this total access vision, and we wanted with our total solution, and it was really about bringing MyQ mobile credentials into the fold with the MyQ community app. So now the credentials sits with the app on the resident's phone, and the property manager only has to manage that one point or that one credential with the resident, and then we can give them access to all the doors. As long as we give them all the hardware to do it, they can make that whole seamless access solution. So this is why we're launching what we're calling an enhanced resident experience. Like Daniel said, we're really packing a lot of features and functionality into that app, and this is the latest one, which is the mobile credentials that's going to basically roll in and tie our whole smart access solutions together. So why is this important? So what's in it for you and your business? Well, it can help you grow your business. So let me break it down a little bit on what that means. So for MyQ communities that are already using our MyQ community platform, our total access solution, this is a feature enhancement. And people love stuff when it's new, especially when it's free. If they're already using our system, like with the CapXM and the apps, this is just now available to them. So it's just a simple upload on their firmware for their CapXM, and once they enable mobile credentials, if the resident upgrades their app to the latest one in the Apple Store or Google Play Store, mobile credentials will be there. It's a feature enhancement. There's no extra charge for it for the end users. It's what we're just giving them to make their whole experience better. And then it now provides them a capability to increase the adoption of our solution throughout their building or community. So once we add mobile credentials to one door, why don't we have it at another door? So we've got now options to start rolling other systems into our system using our smart readers, our smart video intercoms with our mobile credentials, and really adopting that one solution throughout the community or the building. And it just allows us to sell more hardware add more access points, which increases our service revenue. It's a win-win solution for you, and it's a win-win solution for CPSG and LiftMaster team. So why mobile credentials? So first of all, when you look at the different types of credentials or ways to access in our access control business, it really goes all the way from the key all the way up to a mobile credential. And it really works that way from a security perspective as well. So the key is probably the lowest of security. I can go into any ACE and probably copy it. PIN codes can be shared. 125 kilohertz proxy cards can be shared or copied. You've got the 13.56, which is a little bit more secure and it's a nice option. But when you get to mobile credentials, it's the highest, most secure from a credential perspective in access control today. So it is unique to the resident, right? It can't be copied or shared. They're not going to copy their phone. They're not going to share their phone. It's very unique to that one person. You can track their security from a person perspective. And then if they do lose their phone or it's stolen, it's really easy in this day and age to block your phone. A lot of people use their phone as a payment device. So it's really easy to block your phone and then let your property manager know, and they can block it and then send you a new credential for your new phone. And then we've also, with COVID pandemic, thank God it's over. It's really brought out that the residents are really looking for more touchless types of access solutions. And it's really accelerated the adoption of mobile credentials in our market space. And then the devices that enable them, like the smart readers we're going to talk about in a bit, they've actually are expected to jump from about 59 million globally to about 95 million this year. So that's a 40% increase from last year to this year. This is a really growing category, and we're getting there right in the beginning of it with our total solution. So let's talk about what our solution is. So I'm going to look at it from the resident and the manager experience and how this works. First of all, the MyQ mobile credential is exclusive to the LiftMaster Smart Access Systems. That means it's exclusive to our MyQ community platform and the community app. It's actually enabled by the community app and is available in both Apple and Android. With our new solution, you'll get 3 new modes for entry with the smart readers, and you'll get 2 new modes of entry with the Smart Video Intercoms. We'll talk about that in a bit. And then based on how the property manager sets up the mobile credentials for their community or building, the residents then can choose which mode works best for them. And we'll talk that through as well. And then the other thing to remember is, like, a lot of times we hear, I don't have really good internet in that area of the building, or that area of the community has bad internet service. This isn't going to work. From the mobile credential experience perspective, it's really about the Bluetooth communication or the Bluetooth radio between the resident's phone and the device, the reader or the intercom. No, it doesn't go up to the cloud and back down. It's literally a point-to-point connection with Bluetooth using the community app to enable that credential. And then from a Smart Video Intercom, our CAP-XM and our CAP-XS Smart Video Intercoms can be enabled to work with mobile credentials today with a simple firmware update. We'll talk about what goes on with the CAP-XLV when we talk about our hardware. So I'm not forgetting about that. So with our resident experience, these are the people that are going to be using our mobile credentials day in and day out. With the readers, they're going to be able to get 3 smarter ways to gain access using their mobile phone. Tap, touch, and alert are the 3 new modes with the readers. So we really think that the essential tap mode is going to be probably the one that gets adopted the most. It's probably the easiest to adopt too, right? So it's very similar to using a key fob or a proximity card today. You simply walk up to the reader and lightly tap your phone on the reader, or get within 3 to 6 inches, which is what proximity cards do. That is what we call the intent. And then either the mobile credential, either on a locked or unlocked screen, the app running forefront or background, with or without internet, because this is a Bluetooth connection, it will unlock the door. So, and then the next mode, and we'll show you an image of that. So the other two modes are what we're calling more advanced modes, and it's really about how you use your phone, what kind of person you are. So if you're one of those people where convenience is everything, you've got your hands full with groceries, your backpack, your purse, and you walk up to the door and you're like, oh, my phone is in the bottom of my purse or it's in my backpack. Simply touch the reader right below the light bar while your phone is in your front pocket or purse, and that provides that secondary intent and unlocks the door and lets you enter. Your phone needs to be nearby, but there's a proximity sensor in the reader that when you touch it, it's already been talking. The Bluetooth has already been communicating. You touching the reader says, yes, I really do want to enter this door. I'm not just walking past, right? And then the other one is the alert function. So alert is really a push notification that happens. So as you walk towards the front door, that Bluetooth starts communicating. It's going to send a push notification to your phone. It says, lobby entrance nearby, do you want to enter? Tap unlock on your lock screen or whatever, and the door will unlock and you can walk through the door. So that's the touch mode and the alert mode. And these will be available along with the tap mode on our smart readers. So if you've got your, if you've downloaded the Apple Watch app, which is new, I don't know if you know we've got that, but we do now work with the Apple Watch. Alert mode will also work with the Apple Watch. Your phone doesn't need to be nearby because it's communicating to that community app on the phone. So for right now, you still need to have your phone in your purse or your pocket. But if you have your Apple Watch on, that alert push notification will pop up on your watch. Tap your watch, the door will unlock, and you walk through the door. And so these are the new features now available to the residents, along with all the other amazing things that you can do with the community app, right down to the getting a video call to see who's there, press to unlock from anywhere, quick pass for guest management. Hey Siri, open the lobby door. You can use that now. And then now we've got the MyQ mobile credentials that really rounds that out and gives us such a feature-rich experience for our residents using the community app. And then for the residents, if they've got a CapXM or a CapXS, again, they get to choose all with the intercoms as well as the readers, they get to choose the best mode for their interaction. The intercoms will only have tap and alert to start with. There's no proximity sensor in those panels. So we're going to use the touch screen, but that's going to require a user interface update. And we're working on something to bring that to you. It's just not going to be available yet. And I don't have the timing on it at the moment. So, but they get to choose, and we'll show you what that looks like in the app screens. So they get to actually, so this is an image showing a woman, she's using tap to enter the CapXM and get through the front door. And now that they can get in from the front door through any door using all of these new modes with the MyQ community app and mobile credentials. So I got a couple of quick videos. I'm hoping they work. So this is going to show you tap and touch. Let's see if it works. It's not going to work. Sorry, I can't get it to work. I must have not clicked the right thing, Zach.
No, it should work. What if you just advance the slide one?
Let's see.
Or go to your preview and try to hit play from there.
Nope, it's not working.
Yeah, the only thing that usually doesn't work is the sound, but we could send these videos out.
We can send these videos. These videos actually are all out on YouTube today. So really I'll walk you through it. They're so simple. These are little 15-second clips that we kind of created to show residents so that they could actually understand how they would use our devices when they've got mobile credentials. So the first one's literally using the tap mode, and she walks up, she taps her phone on that thing, and then it shows them also using it, tapping on a reader to get into the package room as well as the gym. And then the next one here is touch, same thing. just showing them getting into various rooms with smart readers, various doors, using touch mode with their phone nearby, package room, whatever, and the gym. And they just actually walk up and touch the reader and then walk through the door. So these are 15-second clips. There's one on alert as well. We also have a combined one to really show the resident experience. We created these clips so that we had something for you guys to show your property managers how the system works, as well as how you can use them as resident training on how they actually need to use these to get their phones to work throughout the building. So these were the videos we created, and they are all out on our LiftMaster YouTube channel. Sorry about that.
And quickly, we had one question and one comment in the box. Zach, the comment, they asked if we could add the YouTube links to the just when we send out the presentation. So
yep, will do for sure.
Okay. And then the other one was, you mentioned the Siri integration. Is there any work going on in relation to like OK Google or?
So that I don't know. You're the first person to ask. I have gotten the question on an Android smartwatch. I know they're actually looking at an implementation for an Android smartwatch. I don't know about Google Play, but I can ask. Let me write that down.
At last I heard, Quinoa said they were at one point. It's just been a while since I asked the question. So
it quite possibly could be part of the whole making it work with like wearables and stuff like that. So that might be all part of that integration. I can ask the question and get you the answer.
Thanks.
I do know they're working on the wearables one for Android. Okay, sorry I can't show you the clips, but they're out there. They're pretty cool. Go check them out. All right. Okay, so let's talk about the app settings. I've been kind of like explaining that everybody can do what they want. So here's what a resident would need to do once they get invited to the community. They would download the community app. They would make sure they have the current version. If they've already using the community app today, they need to make sure they've got the latest version. The version that was out at the beginning of March that has it is 4.0.0. I actually think they are about to launch 4.1 with some just making a little bit smoother transitions, but 4.0.0 has the mobile credentials in it. So if they don't have their phone set up to automatically get updates for their apps, they would have to go to the store, get their update. If they do have it where it automatically updates, they probably already have it. They're going to need to make sure, it's very important that they make sure that location settings are on for the MyQ community app in their phone. All right. And then they're also going to make sure, they have to make sure that their phone has Bluetooth on. If Bluetooth isn't on, it's not going to work because this is a Bluetooth communication. And then in their app, once they download it, they go to settings for mobile credentials. They're going to enable this little box, Bluetooth enabled, that needs to be selected. It's automatic, but if they unselect it, it will not work. And then the other thing is that you need to be logged in, which means I've got to be signed in to the app, and I can turn it off, but it's got, when you set the settings, is that it just automatically logs you in. When you open it, you have to have that settings. You need to be logged in because that Bluetooth communication, your phone's in your purse. You haven't even looked at your phone in 15 minutes. Holy cats. And then as you walk towards the front door, that Bluetooth starts talking and it says, oh, I see Sherry. All right. Does Sherry really want to come in? As soon as I do one of the modes, either tap or alert on that CapXM, it will says, yes, Sherry does want to come in the door. Let's unlock it for her. So that's how that works. But that location setting must be on and the Bluetooth must be on for that to work. Okay. And logged in. If they log out, they're not, the app is not talking to anybody. And then there are default settings here. for each of the modes for the smart reader and the intercoms. It's not for a specific door. It's for all the readers, all the intercoms that you would set for tap mode. So you, as a resident, get to choose that I'm not going to use tap. I'm going to use touch because that's just what I want to do. You can do that. Turn tap off. Tap won't work anymore. Touch you'll have to use your finger. You can actually use your elbow, but you have to touch the reader just below the light bar to make it work. So they have that choice. And then what these sliders are for is that if I have an interesting case that might have metal on it, or maybe I've got one of those, I think you probably have seen some ladies have them. They're called phone case or purse cases. They literally envelop the phone in almost like a little purse, and you have all your money and your credit cards and everything. It's all one thing on a shoulder strap. Some of those types of cases have metal in them, and they might reduce range for the Bluetooth. So what you want to do is if you have one of those weird cases, you might have to tweak it a little bit. But there are guardrails on these sliders. They're not going to allow you tap mode. You can't make tap mode work from 6 feet away. It's just not possible. All you're going to do is give you a little bit closer, and that's how that works. But the default settings on these sliders will work for 95% of everybody. So you should be good. Okay. So that's how that works. And then if you don't want to use one, you just disable it. Like I've disabled alert here. So I don't want to use alert. I happen to be by a door and I don't want to get an alert all day long. So I'm going to disable alerts. I'm just not going to use them. So that's possible as well. Any questions on this before we move forward? These are the resident apps. We'll talk about the property managers settings in MyQ Community next.
Yeah, nothing in the box at the moment, Sherry.
Okay, great. So just take a quick pause before we start. But one of the questions that we were always getting, well, what is this going to cost? Mobile credentials. What's going to cost for our customers? Well, this is from LiftMaster. This is a feature enhancement. We aren't charging any more for our stuff because we're going to enable this. So if you've already got a community, say with a CapXM and 30 app licenses, and you want to update mobile credentials for that CapXM on your 30 app licenses, it doesn't cost you anything. It's simply update the firmware on the intercom, enable mobile credentials. We're going to show you how that happens on there. There's no additional cost for the monthly service of that intercom access point. There's no additional cost for the app licenses. It's the same price. This is a feature enhancement. But more importantly, it's a conversation starter. So this is going to allow you to go back and talk to your communities and say, hey, did you know we just launched mobile credentials with the system that we installed last year? We can get you set up working with mobile credentials on it today if you'd like. Let's chat about this. But you've been talking about adding some additional doors. This might be a good time to do that. We can swap out those readers if you've got a Cap2D already with a different reader. One-time cost for the readers, enable mobile credentials on it. You're already paying for that monthly cost on that site, so it's fine. Or if you want to add these 2 new doors, you can add some additional doors. It's really about working with our communities, our properties, and seeing how we can help them really roll everything into that one solution, the resident's mobile phone and the MyQ Community web portal. So then property managers, sorry, go ahead.
I do have a couple questions, but you know what? Why don't we go through this slide and then I'll address them.
Okay, sounds good. So it's really about getting the property managers to have it all under control. And then, from MyQ portal, it's available anytime from anywhere. So but we want to get everybody underneath into the MyQ community portal. So it's a one unified platform. It allows them to see their residents going through the building at all points, lobby entrance, driveway, parking garage, package room, gym. It makes it easy for them to assign and revoke credentials. It's just a quick email invite. And then the really great thing is that now they're actually seeing all the access events in one spot. And we added a new credential type in our activity log. You can actually see if they entered via the mobile credential. So that's really cool. And if it's an entry, a mobile credential entry with like a CapXM or a CapXS, that's tied to a video intercom. You'll get a video playback of that interaction as well. All right, you want to go your questions before we start talking about the configuration for the...
Yeah, I had a couple questions sent directed to me, so I'll keep those anonymous. But if the app is local and not connected to the cloud, why does the location setting of the phone need to be on?
Because the app itself is the intercoms and the readers are beacons. So once something comes into their peripheral, Bluetooth is typically around 35 feet. If the location settings are on and the app is logged into, it says, oh, I see you. If location settings are on, it won't see you. And you need to have location settings on for mobile credentials to work.
And that's for all modes, or is that just for alert mode, or?
All of them.
All of them, okay.
Yep, all of them.
Another question, will being signed into the app deplete phone battery life?
So being signed into the app will not deplete battery life. Even if you've got location settings, and I'm just going to pick an example. I live on the 10th floor of a condominium building, and we have mobile credentials at the front door. 10 floors up, that's way more than 35 feet. It's never doing anything. It's on. You know, you can have it shut off. I mean, you can have it, like, I am one of those people that when I pick up my phone, one of the first things I do is if I have any apps open, I close them. Closing an app is not logging out. So if I log out, like I've got the community app logged out of my phone right now, I'm logged in, but it's turned, I've got it shut down. I closed it because I don't like any apps open in my phone whatsoever. I'm sitting right next to a CapXS. I turned alert off because it kept pinging me because I am less than 5 feet away from the CapXS in my office. So I turned the alert mode off. I only have tap mode enabled. And my phone, it's not draining, it's not doing anything, it's fine. It's only when it starts actually, if you're actually right next to it. So if you're the building manager and your office is next to the front door, I would definitely turn alert mode off because it will literally be pinging all day long. Your app will be going off all day long. That will drain your app or drain your phone.
10-4.
Does that make sense?
Yep. One more question in here, and we can kind of go back to it. I think you had a slide on it, but what credentials and formats work with the new readers?
Oh, we have a slide for that. It's
Perfect.
coming up. Yep, it's coming up. Don't steal my thunder. All right. Okay, so let's move forward. So from the CapXM and the XS, as I mentioned, you can enable mobile credentials with a firmware update, which is now available. If you log into any MyQ community today, that firmware update is available for you to actually to download. So it's ready to get anytime. So this is an example showing a CapXM. So a CapXM here, I will let you know the first thing that you need to know is mobile credentials are always disabled as a default. They are not enabled whatsoever. The property, this is a configuration and device management, advanced settings under mobile credential settings. You need to go in there to enable mobile credentials. You will have an option to either enable the integrated Bluetooth, or let's say you wire up a reader and you could actually click the reader. In this instance, this is a site that wants to just put a smart reader with the CapXM because they still have the need to do proximity, like a 26-bit HID card. So they want to make sure that they can do both mobile credentials for their techie residents and still have the key fobs for the residents that aren't ready to move over to mobile credentials yet. So they would click a smart reader here, they type in the serial number of the reader, and then the property manager gets to choose what modes am I going to allow them to have. They can choose. This is the property management's choice. So if this particular thing, I'm going to let the residents choose whatever they want. So I'm going to allow tap, touch, and access on this CapXM at the front door. Now for mobile credentials, we've disabled it on the CapXM, so we really don't need that firmware update because we're going to use a smart reader and make it really super simple for our residents. This is the new smart reader. This is where you get in. If you have mobile credentials, tap the smart reader. If you're using tap, etc., blah, blah, blah. Everybody uses the same device. All right. If you want to, you could actually add a standard 26-bit reader. Maybe you already had one. Keep that wired in there and that's fine. And that still works, but you could enable mobile credential or the integrated Bluetooth for all your techie residents, right? So that's way without changing the reader. When you enable mobile credentials is there. But if you don't have a reader and you still need one, you're going to have to add a reader because I don't have I don't have a reader itself built into the CapXM. Does that make sense? All right, next slide is the Bluetooth module can only be enabled for one door at a time. All right, so in door one, in this particular thing, I enabled the integrated Bluetooth, allowed them for tap access and alert access. Now there's a door two control on this. So that's maybe for a different door. The mobile credential, you can't do the integrated mobile credential on the other door if it's enabled on door one. Only one door can be enabled on the system. The other one has to be a smart reader. So if you want to, you'll either disable it or you'll want to enable the smart reader, add the serial number, tell them what modes they can do. Does that make sense? So you can't have both doors of control on the CapXM with the integrated Bluetooth. It won't work. It literally won't let you do it. So if you're trying to figure out why, it won't let you. Only one door can have the integrated Bluetooth. Any questions on that? Sweet. You usually get that messed up. Okay, so now that we've got enabled mobile credentials, it's really about simplifying access. With mobile credentials, it's really going to save them time and money with the MyQ Community app and mobile credentials. And what do you mean by that? When we talk to some property managers and talking to them about what they have to go through with physical credentials, I use my favorite term, time suck. Using the MyQ mobile credentials, it's as simple as inviting your resident, and then the residents get download the app, and now they have it. There's no cards to add to the resident, and it's all kinds of stuff dealing with cards, making sure you eliminated the old one. Oh, I forgot to order cards. I need to order some cards or some fobs. It's just so much easier for them, and it's easier to budget. You know, I've got 36 residents. I have 36 residential apps done. I have to budget $36 per month, whatever. So that's really easy to budget for property managers. And then remember, we talked about this in the beginning, it's very secure. So it's that security that's also really important for the property managers and the residents. You know, it can't be copied or shared, and it's super easy to revoke the license of a phone. It's literally the push of a button. Basically, you hit the button revoke and the license is revoked. So if they move out or they've lost their phone, it's really super easy to eliminate that credential. So that's really all about that I have for the resident and the property manager experience. And I'm going to go next into the hardware itself. Any questions on the experience?
Nothing
No?
through chat.
Sweet. All right. Well, let's move on to the hardware. So how do we get all this good stuff, right? So first thing is we've just launched 2 new smart readers. They launched on March 28th, so a couple weeks ago. So these are our 2 new smart readers. the SRDR-ST and the SRDR-KP. I'll give you a quick, easy way to remember that. The S stands for smart, the RDR stands for reader, and the ST would be standard, that's the plain one, and the KP is the keypad. So if you can remember smart reader, standard smart reader keypad, you can pretty much figure out which is the SKU you need. So these are actually now available from your nearest CPSG location. They typically follow what we call our pass multiplier against list. They're available to order now. The list price on these is $418 and $588. That's the list price from LiftMaster manufacturing. If you need to know what your price is, please contact your CPSG location. All right. And then from the specs, this is the question that came: what kind of capabilities or compatibilities do these readers have? Well, so first and foremost, the Bluetooth mobile credentials, that's exclusive to MyQ. So there are readers out there that also do mobile credentials. These readers have our firmware on them. They will only work with our mobile credentials. That being said, that is really the most proprietary thing about it. They will also work with standard 26-bit HID, 125 kilohertz procs. So if I'll give you for instance, if you've got a CAP-XM with an LMMC-Mini, that's an RP10 reader from HID, and you've got a bunch of Prox Key 3 key fobs, they will work on this reader. So it's easy to migrate the existing credentials over if you're adding this reader, because half of your residents want to use mobile credentials. The other half can still use the credentials they already have. It will also work with standard 32-bit MeFair, which is the 13.56 megahertz. We do have a new dual tech card coming out from LiftMaster. It will be a dual tech, meaning that it will work with 125 kilohertz 36-bit and 13.56 56-bit. Those would be more for a brand new install where they've already identified they're going to need both a smart technology like MyQ mobile credentials, as well as having physical credentials for certain tenants that just aren't in, they don't want to deal with the technology. So we will have a card available for that. It's going to be coming out soon, or going to be available soon. So that would be more for new. But if you've got existing sites that you're trying to migrate to, more secure technology, we can still help them migrate by working with all their existing standard non-proprietary 26-bit stuff. If you've got some really proprietary fobs like Yale and some other ones that are super proprietary, they have their own codes, they won't work with them. They're just, that's a proprietary system. They are both single gang mount. I've been asked quite a bit before somebody asked when we're going to get a mullion mount one. I'm actually looking into that, but it's not available yet. So right now, these are the two that are available, but I am looking at bringing on a mullion mount. These are UL294 for those of you that care. And they are rated for both indoor, outdoor use, and they are an IP55 rating.
So quick question, Sherry, when it comes to credentials, we can work in any combination, right? I don't have to pick or choose. It's kind of, okay.
So if you put a smart reader on, say, the package room, anybody with mobile credentials could access it with mobile credentials. Everybody else could either use a PIN code if they've got the keypad one, or they can use a prox card. The residents get to choose what they want to do.
And I guess my question was, if I had classic, 125 kilohertz HID, I could start to use those, but start to migrate over to like a more secure credential in relation to hard credentials.
Correct. So and I'll give you for instance, if you have 125 kilohertz procs and you actually still want to get a little bit more security, we're going to have a 13.56 56-bit smart card that will be, it's still a physical credential, but it's going to be more secure, not copyable. So there's all kinds of different configurations, options, mix and match that you can do with the smart reader.
Perfect. And not to take up too much of your time, but also the keypad, and you've confirmed this to me, but I like to get it out there, is also can be put into an ASCII mode, correct?
Correct. It is, I believe, 8-bit.
8-bit, which is what the unit works, which is huge, right? So I could have my same code that works at my unit, not have to program it as a credential, but also continue to work at this keypad.
Yep. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is how we get these guys connected. So our smart readers, like most readers out there, they are weekend dependent. So they need to be wired back to some type of weekend access system, like our CAP-XLV, XM, XS, or 2D. Those are our controllers with control boards that can get you to the internet via weekend wiring. I will do one quick caveat on the CAP-XS. CAP-XS, that smaller intercom, these light bars at the top of the readers, when you're wired to power on these are red. When you get granted access, they turn green. If you wire one of these up to a CAP-XS, the CAP-XS doesn't have the LED control, so you will never see them turn green. That's okay with the property. They still want to use it. That's fine. You can do it. They'll just never turn green when they grant access. They might hear the relay, but they won't see the green on the actual reader. The other thing with the CAP-XS, unlike the other products, I can't provide accessory power. There's not enough accessory power on the CAP-XS to power up these readers. You will need to put an extra power supply on it that does not come with it. So if you are wiring this to CAP-XS, you have to also make sure you're adding a power supply with any quote that you do, because it doesn't come with it. But if you are wiring it to a CAP-XS, you will need an extra external power supply. All right. And don't use another one from a CAP-XS because it's too strong and it'll blow it. You need to get the power supply rated for the reader. They are secure access readers. The credential key for them is actually stored on the phone within the MyQ community app. That's why they need to have that app. And then it's that reminder, just reminding you guys that it's still that BLE communication between the phone and reader. It's not going up to the cloud and back down. It's that point-to-point connection using Bluetooth. And then for the smart video intercoms, okay, so if you've got an existing intercom, you'll require a firmware update, but it's going to be available on the CAP-XM and the CAP-XS. And again, it's that Bluetooth communication. So your phone, the Bluetooth on your phone is talking to the Bluetooth on the panels. So they're not going back up to the cloud. It's going to be available on the CAP-XM and the CAP-XS to start. And remember, I mentioned earlier, but you might have forgot, only 2 modes to start with: the tap mode and the alert mode. The touch mode will not be available at launch. We're working on it, but it's probably gonna have to get integrated into the user interface of the touch screen. And if you still need physical credentials, you're still gonna have to have a reader. This update for mobile credentials is only for the mobile credentials piece of it. And then for CAP-XLV, or maybe a existing CAP-XL out in the field, if you need the mobile credentials on that, you'll need to add a smart reader. We don't have an over-the-air update for the CAP-XL or the CAP-XLV because there's a new CAP-XLV2 coming soon. You'll start hearing about it shortly. That one will have an integrated Bluetooth just like the XM and XS. And so that one is where we've put all of our time and attention to. If you do need to do a retrofit for, say you've got a apartment building that has a CAP-XLV on the front, if they want to enable mobile credentials, they're going to have to put a smart reader on there for the mobile credentials piece of it. And then from the, go ahead.
Sorry, we did have a question asking,
Sure.
will this work with CAP-AC?
It will not.
No built-in Bluetooth on the CAP-AC, and no
There is not.
And no ability to wire in a Wiegand input.
Nope.
Yep.
Sorry, will not work on the CAP-AC. So for the smart video intercoms with resident interaction, remember 2 modes: tap. So that we got an image here of a lady using a tap. She's bringing her phone within 3 to 6 inches of the CAP-XM, and that will allow her to enter the door. Or you can use the alert functionality. So as you walk up towards the CAP-XM, you'll get a push notification on your lock screen or unlock screen if your phone's already open. which can happen to a lot of people. Just tap that push notification and it will unlock the door. And if you've got the Apple Watch app or the MyQ Community app on your Apple Watch, it will pop up on your Apple Watch. You do need to make sure your phone is somewhere on you, either in your purse, your pocket, or your backpack, for that Apple Watch to get the to give you the alert, because it really needs to talk to that MyQ Community app on the phone. The token resides on the phone right now. Okay. All right. Any questions about this? We're almost done. Well, let's keep going. You guys can stop me if you need to. So it's really about selling the whole solution, and expanding your markets, expanding what you think you would need to put a reader on. So once we started talking to people about mobile credentials and, all the different hardware we're doing, they really start, the mind starts clicking, light bulb starts going on. Residents, can now use their mobile credentials to get into the pool, the clubhouse, the gym, at a gated community. Employees, maintenance rooms, maintenance buildings, services, offices. It's like, this would be so easy for them rather than them having even PIN codes and prox cards and everything. And then MDU buildings, you could put a smart reader on the elevator, and only residents using could open up the elevator and use it. That just turns on the access. Lobby, pedestrian parking entrance, package rooms. That keypad one is perfect for a package room. And it's really about selling on security and a more modern living experience for our communities and buildings. The legacy fobs and credentials are great and they've worked really well over the years, but there's better stuff out there. And really it's all about bringing that security to your building and for your residents. And multi-technologies of those readers allows that migration versus conversion. It's budget and timing friendly. They don't need to do it all at once. They can do it at their own pace. And don't walk away from opportunities. And I kind of like, typically you look at these different objections, mobile app, the software, the hardware costs. We could look at it from a total solution, right? So the total solution is now bringing you something that's super easy to manage, super easy to set up, just ridiculously easy to use, and just so convenient for our residents that are using our system every day. And they're asking for this type of technology. And from a property manager's perspective, it really helps them pull their budgets together. It's easy to add doors as needed, as budgets allow. And it's really that knowing what your budget is every month is so much nicer than, I needed to buy more cards. Do I still have money to the budget for that? That kind of thing. So it's really about making the whole solution work for you. And there are some lead-in topics to start talking to your customers about it, or even customers that are thinking about going to MyQ mobile credentials and the whole LiftMaster solution. So talk about, how many different types of credentials do you support today within your property, your building? They'd be surprised. They probably don't even realize how many they do. And are you worried about the security? Are your keypad codes being given away and shared? I mean, I've seen pictures where people have literally written the 4-digit code on a CapXL or CapXLV. They in black marker, 4-digit code to open the gate, 1122. Like, really? Like, we need to be a little bit more secure with our property. You're spending all this money to put this hardware in there. It should make it more secure and safe. And then how do you budget for your physical credentials every month or year? That sometimes gets really cagey. And then let's just talk about our LiftMaster Total Solution, the MyQ mobile credentials, and how it really can make you and your residents' lives so much easier. So these are nice topics to have with our communities and property managers. And then from a channel and marketing support, LiftMaster is here for you. So we have all kinds of training that's available. The CPSG team can do it. They can actually pull in the LiftMaster team to help out. We are here for you. We have sales training. We can do technical training, in-person webinars like today. We've got support videos available out on our YouTube channel and our support pages. And then I don't know if everybody knows this, but I know the CPSG folks do, and they can do this themselves, but at the very best, if they need to, we've got a great customer success team that's available for any customer that's onboarding MyQ Community, and they can help you walk through steps, walk through training, help you provide the tools of of what you need for your property managers as well as they onboard their residents. We're here to support you guys and make you successful. And we've got a lot of new collateral and updated collateral around MyQ mobile credentials. So we've got the new data sheets, product guides from the Smart Readers, because that's a new products, right? But we also went and updated all of the CAP product guides and data sheets as well to include the information about MyQ mobile credentials. We've updated manuals for those products so that you can see the MyQ mobile credentials and how that works within those panels. And then we've also got new architects and specs information support videos, as I mentioned. We've even updated all of our website pages on both myq.com, our liftmaster.com, and our partner portal. All of our great tools are available on our partner portal as well. So there's a wealth of tools out there to help you be successful in selling the total solution from LiftMaster. And as we mentioned, we did launch a couple weeks ago, March 28th. So we really officially launched at ISC West, which I think kicked off the 20th or 29th. And then just to let you guys know, the MyQ community app and our new MyQ mobile credentials we won the SIA's new product showcase award for best in connected mobile solutions. So we are totally legitimate. Had to throw that out because we're all really proud about that and what the team has put together. And then in summary, it's really MyQ mobile credentials is a new resident experience with MyQ community and the community app. And then we've got the hardware enablers, the smart readers and the smart video intercoms to enable all those MyQ mobile credentials throughout our buildings and communities. And it's really, really about providing that secure, safe, and total solution to all our MyQ communities out there. And that's all I've got. Thank you.
Thank you, Sherry. I wanted to, call out a couple things really quickly here. Currently, Controlled Products, if you checked your email blast yesterday, you should have received, we are running a promo on CAP 2D units and also a combination promo with the smart readers. So right now is a good time to test out this solution. And the other thing is, we get on these webinars and we go through, and you do a great job explaining things, Sherry, but also be on the lookout for hands-on trainings in your local locations here. We will be running hands-on CAP trainings, as we're calling them, because it's not specific to any one product, but to the whole product line. So just be on the lookout. 2 coming up shortly here. We have Charlotte and Atlanta at the end of this month. So I just wanted to call those things out.
Great.
Yeah, those trainings are amazing. Hey, there was one question that I felt was probably best addressed verbally. And as I mentioned in the chat, it kind of depends on the intent of the question. The question was, could these work with TransCore as well? And so if the intent of the question was from a, kind of a technology basis, can I wire in a TransCore along with a smart reader? Certainly, but they'd be independent devices, of course, separate Wiegand inputs. The question arises fairly regularly about utilizing apps and Bluetooth or geopositioning apps in lieu of RFID readers. And it really depends on the job. It's kind of a philosophical question to some degree. If you have a high bandwidth application, in other words, you've got a lot of people coming in and out, a lot of traffic, and you can't, back up that gate application with a lot of cars, at this point, we would probably recommend you stick with RFID. I'm not telling you to move away from smart readers, but you do have that added aspect of, hey, they don't have their phone on, they don't have their phone with them, they never set it up correctly, and now you've got some residents that are just fumbling through their whatnot.
Yeah, and the other thing that I want to point out is that Bluetooth is a radio. And in a car, you're in a big metal box. Now, granted, there's a lot of windows, but sometimes there's not. So that will actually reduce your range. So you might not be able to actually get the app to work. or that whole mobile credential to work from inside a car. And I really don't think it's wise to be sticking your hand out the window to tap your phone on a reader.
Yeah, well said. So we're just not quite there yet with apps for vehicle applications, again, especially high bandwidth. If you had a small community, you got 5 like custom homes back there and they wanted to go that route, you'd probably get away with it and they'd have a keypad code if they got stuck. But again, in those high bandwidth areas, they're kind of 2 different technologies that serve 2 different purposes at this point.
Yeah, and I will say something like that would have to be some kind of integration with the automotive industry and the center stacks. And then it's easy to do something like that with like a residential home, like HomeLink. Right. But when you're working with access control and a property wants to control access, it's really hard to layer that onto it from the center stack. It's not impossible. We're not there yet, though.
Yeah.
If you look at the many features of the app, and I just continue to hammer that, there are many features. Really, if you get the Google integration going, really the Siri is a better way of approaching a drive-up situation, right?
Yeah. Hey Siri, open the back gate. Yeah.
Yep.
If you've got the community app, it should tie in and work, but we'll have to see. So my phone's talking to me because I said, "Hey Siri."
Yeah, and since we got a couple minutes, just a couple comments to think about or kind of plant some seeds. The product is really an amazing way to start migrating people towards better technology, convenience, more secure technology. So again, remember, these readers can be used for your average everyday HID, MyFair type applications. And then when they're ready to make a leap and access controller change, then we can move into the LiftMaster product and give them the full benefits.
There are some big companies out there selling 26-bit procs that are starting to no longer support it.
That's right. And that makes sense, right?
I'm not going to say names. It's a pretty big company, and they're starting to not support from the reader perspective. They're still supporting the credentials because there's so many readers out there, but they're not supporting the readers.
Exactly. And you can get one duplicated at a grocery store, so they really aren't very secure.
Right.
But again, as you're talking to your clients out there and you're maintaining these properties and you're talking about these convenience features that, quite frankly, residents are starting to expect, when they rent a property or live in a property, there are steps we can take to migrate them towards a complete, versus swapping out the whole system. We can start migrating them through some of these feature sets and some of these offerings from LiftMaster.
It's the key. It's the key, especially when you're dealing with HOAs. They don't budget things in it. If they don't know about it, they haven't budgeted for it, right? So it's really hard to get these buildings and communities, especially when they've got HOAs and HOA fees and everything. It helps those types of buildings, and that's really where you're going to be playing with this. Get that into their budgets for the next year. What can I do today? What can I do now? It's really it's the best way to support them. If you tell somebody that you've got to rip everything out and convert, that's where it gets sticky. So this is a really nice, easy way. It's easy for them to do. It's easy for them to understand. And yeah, that's doable type of thing.
Yeah, well said.
No more questions?
No more questions. We'll make sure to get the recording out to you.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, I did miss a part because I had to run and do something real quick. But for the phones, when they're connected to the phones, the Bluetooth and the location to have access to the property, how can we prevent this from people passing the application to non-residential people to have access?
You mean so the thing is that it's tied to the person's phone. It's not tied to a login. You can't give somebody your login and make it work. You can make certain pieces of the app work, but the mobile credential piece will not.
Yeah. cut off. I couldn't hear you anymore.
So we use the token we connect to the token on the phone. It's kind of like how Apple Pay works. It connects to the token on the phone. So even if you give somebody your login, it won't work.
It won't work because it goes based on the device that is being used.
Correct.
The system.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that was my question. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Good question. Any others? All right. Well, we'll get these resources out to you. Give us through tomorrow, the recording of the session. If you want to share that with them, we'll have those YouTube links in there and some additional digital assets for you, some literature and whatnot. And Daniel, we'll include that promotion on the CAP 2Ds and smart readers. That's a pretty rich promo. And again, a great way to start engaging with the product. So
yep,
thanks.
and CPSG has done a great job of bringing inventory into their location, so they are ready for you guys.
Loaded and ready.
Locked and loaded. Let's get it done.
Daniel,
right.
thanks for putting this together. Appreciate it. Sherry, thank you very much. Congratulations on the award. And
let the team know. They're pretty excited.
Awesome. Everybody have a great day.